Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I am here with my review for Black Adam. Now, if you have not seen this yet, come on back because there will be spoilers. By the time I put this out, most people probably have seen it because it's done so many screenings all over the world. Press screenings, fan screenings, advanced screenings. It's supposed to release everywhere on the 21st of October. I'm recording this on the 20th, and the theaters in my area are already showing, they always show day before screenings, etc., etc. I'm going to get this out the way. There's pretty much nothing I can say, whether it be good or bad, that is going to make everybody happy with this review. Why do I say that? Because if you looked on social media already, on the Bird app that is known as Twitter, people are already saying people trying to make it seem like a bad movie. Because, look, spoiler alert, if you ain't heard, fucking Henry Cavill's in the post-credit scene. Everybody knows this, right? But let me get this out the way. Dwayne Johnson always wanted Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill wasn't coming back with Walter Hamada, right? Hamada was like, no, quote unquote, he had Superman plans on his own, and he wasn't bringing Cavill back. He was going to do a different Superman. Well, Dwayne Johnson went to the head of Warner Brothers Picture Group, went over Hamada's head, and got it done. And Henry Cavill's post-credit scene was shot just back on Labor Day of this year, this Labor Day. Also, if anybody could get him back, it would be Dwayne Johnson. Why? Because Dwayne Johnson and Henry Cavill have the same manager in Dany Garcia, who is Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife. Henry Cavill and Dany Garcia wanted control of Superman from Zack Snyder back in the day because they did not like the way Snyder was doing Superman. So Warner Brothers was not going to give them control of Superman. That's what Dany and Cavill wanted. They wanted creative control of Superman. Therefore, they pulled out, left, The Witcher happens, everything. Okay? I bring all that up because people on the internet, you got some of these diehard cultists, and you know what type of fans I'm talking about. Swear for God that everybody is trying to just make it where they don't want to see Snyder's vision and blah, 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 blah. Nah, bro. Some shit just ain't good. Some shit just ain't bad. Now, there's going to be people who are going to literally say, well, that's because you just like Marvel films, and the only thing you like is Marvel. That's a Black Lightning poster. That's a Black Lightning poster. That's a DC Comics thing. That's a DC Comics thing. That's a Black Lightning poster. I got a Shazam poster right there. A Superman thing right there. So that could eliminate that out the gate. Now, my preamble out the fucking way. I'm always going to be, first of all, if you are new to seeing me do this, I'm always going to be that dude that's going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to tell you, like I say when I do the Mad Titan podcast, if you're getting your feelings, that's on you, not on me. I'm going to say what I think and how I feel and how I say it. And whatever I say, I'm going to back it up with this thing called fact, not opinion. Here's my overall thoughts of Black Adam. It is a movie. It exists. I can't say it's good. I can't say it's bad. It's a movie. It's a movie with a lot of problems. Look, this movie, I saw somebody try to say that Black Adam was a masterpiece, and I need you to stop capping real quick. I need you to stop being on the bullshit if you're going to say that. Black Adam is not a fucking masterpiece. Black Adam is messed up in a lot of spots. Number one, it's disconjointed ass plot. Number two, it's script. Now, I always tell the people, how do you know about a script, blah, 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 if you've never written one or done it? As somebody who acts, reads scripts, writes pilots, writes for TV, shit like that, I get it. This script is not a story per se to follow. The dialogue in this bitch is awful. But Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam is what you expecting. He's charismatic as fuck. He is brutal. He is violent, which brings me to another problem I have. Black Adam is so brutal. Black Adam is so violent. Black Adam has very little remorse, if any, and he finally gets some remorse and some morals as you can't kill everybody later. He should have just been a straight up villain. I'm tired of this anti-hero shit. Yes, there are characters in comic books who have known to be anti-heroes, who they go join the good guys for a moment and they do what's right, but then they all of a sudden fall back and they're like, nah, I'm not for this. Yes, there has been a point in comic book lore where Black Adam has joined the actual JSA and he was pretty useless there. But for the most part, Black Adam is a villain. And I understand because we're talking about the charisma and the character and the aura of Dwayne Johnson that it seems too difficult to make him a villain. And I gotta disagree to the fullest. You can make this motherfucker a whole villain. The story of him being imprisoned, him being freed, and the Crown of Sabak, that through line kind of goes. When you add in a lot of other stuff that happens in the middle, it gets weird because you got Adrian Tomas, who everybody thought was gonna be ISIS and all sorts of stuff. It was like, nah, she's not. And that's Sarah Shahi. And I remember seeing her from Sex Life on Netflix, and I was like, word. They were like, word. And I was like, cool. She steals the crown of Sabak after waking up Black Adam out his tomb, which we find out later is actually his prison. Because remember in Shazam, when the wizard said they chose a champion, but that champion was revengeful and et cetera, et cetera. We noticed the story of Black Adam, and then they imprisoned him. His tomb wasn't a tomb, it was a prison. But basically, steal the crown of Sabak to keep it from the other people getting it, because she knows if the crown of Sabak happens, all of a sudden, just giant ass demon. Let's just say this. Let me get to that part real quick. They made Sabak the worst type villain you ever could have. Again, dialogue is brutal, is abysmal. This is 1987 comic book movie writing villain. And again, I understand. I brought this up when I talked about Venom. How I felt. Venom I didn't think was bad as far as dialogue wise. I felt like a lot of the shit they did was 90s cheesy, but I didn't realize that's what they were leaning into with Venom. That's what they were leaning into. That ain't the case here. Aldis Hodges Hawkman as Carter Hall. Aldis, good dude. Love him to death. But Carter is sometimes you like, yo, beat the dog shit out of him. Because he's an arrogant, egotistical asshole I think he's the head of the JSA. He's very egotistical. And that kind of is a Carter Hall persona. But the level he goes on this, you're like, yo, beat this nigga's ass. There's a fight with, this is a problem I have too. There's a fight with him and Black Adam in Adriana's apartment, right? And when I tell you, in that fight, they destroy this woman's apartment. And she don't say nothing about it. She just like, y'all gotta stop fighting. We gotta work together to find my son. Because basically her partner, her old archaeology looking for artifacts partner, it turns out to be evil, working with these mercenaries inner gang that's controlling the city and all this and blah blah blah. And they kidnap her son. She's like, well, you gotta help me find my son. Not after these motherfuckers that broke all of the foundation and load-bearing walls in your apartment. You still got to pay rent in this motherfucker. And you got this 5,000-year-old plus dude. You got another black dude with a gold helmet and wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to tell these motherfuckers you want to stop. You're going to have to reimburse me. You know what I'm saying? Hawkman has a whole jet made out of nothing but nth metal. Bro, you got money. Like, you got money. You live in a mansion in Louisiana, and for some reason, they decided to do the visual effects team to have the Hawk jet come out. They decided to go the X-Men movie route. If you remember, and even in the movies where the Blackbird comes out of the garden and court and all this stuff, the exact same thing. Like, you could have did different because everybody's going to automatically compare the two. But nonetheless, Hawkman, you got all this money. You need to go ahead and fix her crib. Like, I would have liked to see Adriana Tomas be like the old school Quentin Brunson schedule. She's like, oh, he got money. Like, to fix his shit back up. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is kind of what you get, is what you expected. But my only issue is he takes off that helmet way too much. If you know the story of Dr. Fate, when he put that helmet on, hey, bro, you ain't taking that helmet off. But also, in the film, I get it. Here's why. I've said this with a lot of different TV shows, comic books, or otherwise, where a character has a concealed identity. If it is an A-level talent and you got them in this project, you are pretty much 9 times out of 10 going to do your best to make sure you see that talent. And I know there's some other ones you're like, well, Zoe Saldana, for instance, in Guardians of the Galaxy is covered in green paint. Dave Bautista, he's considered kind of A-list, is in this paint. But you still know and you can recognize their faces completely. You don't have all these prosthetics, this, that, and the third, or a helmet, or just a mask covering. Pierce Brosnan, and maybe his peoples was like, no, you need to see Pierce's face. Okay? When you get Cyclone, Quintessa Saldwell, and you get Adam Smasher, you just see two kids basically about to fall in love that don't happen to fall in love. You see Adam Smasher, who's the nephew of the original Adam Smasher, who his uncle is Henry Winkler. I was like, what? And like the dialogue, he's on the phone with him like, yeah, I used to love you as a kid, and talking to you is a real treat, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, are you just talking to your uncle or are you talking to the Fonz? Okay? That happens. There's a lot of funny scenes, a lot of funny interactions that happen between Adam Smasher and Hawkman. There's a part where Adam Smasher gets bigger and like he's supposed to try to stop Black Adam when he's grown like 6 stories, try to stop Black Adam or one of the air bikes that are powered by Eternium, and he misses, and then he does this by mistake and knocks Hawkman out the air. And the whole time it's just Carter Hall, me and you, we got issues. That's another thing when I say this movie is kind of disconjointed. And again, nothing I say to some people is going to make a difference. Here's why I say that. Because if I bring up all of the humor that they try to do in this, you're going to say, well, what about Marvel Studios movies, Jay? They have a lot of humor. Here's where I bring that up as far as the disconjointed nature of this film. This movie literally feels like there are way too many cooks in the kitchen. There are too many cooks who like, keep the action level here. Where's the heart here? We need more heart. We need more action. We need comedy. But we got heart and action. We need more comedy. We need more action. We need violence, just over-the-top violence. But where does the story go here? No, don't worry about that. It's like this movie changes so many times to try to give you one through plot. It tries to. But it's like it gets a little messy at times. Again, this ain't, like I said, it's not a good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a movie. The JSA is trying to take down Black Adam. And he basically whoops the dog shit out them. He whoops Hawkman's ass so bad at one point. I'm like, yo, you just gonna rip off this dude's wings. You just gotta, like, what the brute. That's another thing, like, if you, again, he's not straight villain in this movie, so that's probably why he doesn't do it. And also, it's like you got Hawkman, and clearly y'all had an extensive budget for CGI to keep them wings going, because there's points in wings where he looked kind of dope, and this other's like, oh, this is just that thing. But if Black Adam is truly Black Adam, as villainous as he is, as evil as he is, as revenge and rage driven as he is, he rips Hawkman's wings off. There's no doubt about it. He rips this Mog's wings dead off his chest. Off his back. But this little boy Amon, who is Adriana's son, his dialogue is the worst. And he's like a 19-year-old kid skateboarding everywhere. And there's parts where you're like, boy, if you get on the goddamn skateboard and just run! Like, there's certain things he does. And in him trying to be the key to help motivate the citizens of Kahndaq to revolutionize in the way he does it and things like that, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. Like, Kahndaq is under occupation by Intergang, and then here comes Ted Adam, because they don't call, he's only known as Ted Adam. He's not called Black Adam until the end of the movie when Ted Adam decides, I don't need to be Ted Adam no more. I need another name. And what name do you think? And here comes the title card, Black Adam. You already know how it goes. But Shorty trying to mobilize the citizens, and it's just like a Hunger Games type Katniss Everdeen, woof, 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 all that shit. And it's just weird how it comes about, because it's all of a sudden, it doesn't, like, the citizens all of a sudden just randomly out of nowhere, everybody's just on the same page, when a moment ago everybody's living their life or living their own life or running in fear, and nothing says why they should come together and mobilize. Nothing about that. when Sabak comes, okay, Sabak brings forth a bunch of people that died, a bunch of skeletons running around, walking dead around here. All of a sudden, the citizens of Kahndaq are powerful enough to fight the undead, but scared as shit of those occupying. And I understand some people say, well, Jay, the forces of the inner gang have guns and this, that, and the third. The undead. Like, I know we're like, well, what Walking Dead shows, you just cut off a zombie's head. These are fired ash zombie skeletons, whatever. It's just weird. Shouts out to Mo Amer. Mo is amazing. I've worked with Mo a couple times back in Chicago when he came through to the Laugh Factory. We've chopped it up out here in LA a lot. Mo's a good dude. Mo deserves everything that's happening for him, from this to his own show on Netflix. And Mo is amazing in this fucking movie. Again, Aldous Hodge is phenomenal. As Carter, like I said, it's just certain things they do with Hall. And I like the choices, like I said, the egotistical nature of Carter Hall. It fits, and Aldous added his egotistical twist to it as an actor and the choice. I get it. But that's why I was like, it's time. You're like, beat this nigga's ass. Beat his ass. Adam Smasher, I was like, he was just there. I don't know why I thought I was going to get so much more. I mean, like I said, he was comedic. He was more comedic relief than anything, if it makes sense for those who are seeing this. I mean, he has some moments where you're like, oh, shit, but I don't know at the point we're seeing the Atom on Legends of Tomorrow, how him getting big, seeing Ant-Man, like, I don't know if there's anything that seeing a person grow big can do different than what they've normally done. Like I said, I gave you two examples from two different universes. Like, we've already seen them. Because remember, the Atom first grew in Legends of Tomorrow when it was found out that Ant-Man was going to grow in Civil War. But it was like, all right, we're just seeing them both get big, which is dope. Like, cool. But, like, is there anything more? And I felt like you didn't get too much more out of Adam Smash. Again, a couple jokes. You know what I'm saying? Cyclone, the visual, like, her making whirlwinds, the way they did it was cool. It was colorful. It was fabulous. It was a reading rainbow. But sometimes it was just like, all right, these are whirlwinds and these are cyclones, and it was just, here's this visual effects thing of all this to show. Also, look, we got to talk about why the fuck that like 30% of this movie goes in slow motion for some reason. I understand that Black Adam can move at super speed because he is imbued with the speed of Mercury. He has the same exact powers as Shazam. That's where the lightning bolt should have came. I get it. But did we need to really do a full slow motion thing in it? Like, really? And then we did it several other times in this movie. Like, what? Huh? I wanted this movie to just be this solid, good story, heart. And when I say heart, I don't always mean like it's got to be the hero of the titular character has to have the heart, all this. Because look, this titular character could just murder everybody with no problem. Look, even in Infinity War, Thanos was killing everybody until he realized he had to kill his daughter. And he was like, oh, shit. Well, little bitch, you got to go. And then dropped off a cliff. I wanted Black Adam to be a villain. We also see the scene. I wanted Black Adam to be a villain. I'll talk about this other scene I was going to talk about in a second. I understand the story of why he comes around, how he, why, he protects the woman who woke him up, who said the incantation. And her son, Amon, the one who I'm talking about who was trying to revolutionize, like, you're a champion. You just watch people, this dude murder. Okay, let me tell you something. The first person that Black Adam murders is a black dude, I think, or woman. I can't remember which one, I'm not for sure. And I'm not using race, just know it's a black person. Grabs, electrocutes the dog shit out of them until they turn into crispy bacon flakes that when you put bacon in the oven and it stays too long, you just pick it up and just crumbles. Like, turn them into ash from when a piece of paper is lit by a lighter. I was like, oh my God. There are some parts, I said this on Twitter, there are some parts where I was like, oh shit! Like, the level of violence, and again, the violence level you expect on this is cool. Like, We see the scene from the trailer where he gets hit in the face with the billy club. He just sits there looking. You just watch dude go in there like, wee! Of course, got to laugh at the theaters. But that is nothing in comparison to what this blog does, as how he just is murdering. Again, Black Adam is the sole murderer. You're like, no, you're the champion, everybody. Y'all are culpable. Okay? All you motherfuckers need cases on you. Like I'm Denzel Washington Training Day. I think my biggest issue with what this film is supposed to be is that it is trying to build the DCEU, or whatever new incantation of the DCEU will be, is trying to build it around Black Adam. Somebody is going to say, well, Jay, what's the problem with that? Who the fuck cares about Black Adam as a central character? I understand what you going to say. It's Dwayne Johnson. Absolutely. But when have we ever cared about Black Adam as a central character enough to focus a whole world built around him? Here's also a problem. The scene, the post-credit scene, again, with Superman that we all know about with Henry Cavill. You literally went from Black Adam to now Black Adam versus Superman, which I'm kind of fine with if you go Black Adam versus Shazam at first, which it kind of supposed to be. He was supposed to be in Shazam. They pulled him out of Shazam to give him his own movie, which again, all right, I guess. I think I was like a lot of people. Like, I guess as long as it leads to Shazam versus Black Adam. But that's not what this leads to. Now, I'm left to believe that Shazam Fury of the Gods post-credit scene leads to Shazam versus Black Adam. But now, will people even give a shit about that because you've opened the door to Black Adam versus Superman? Nothing wrong with that film happening, but there's a steps you need to go through to that. You know what I'm saying? There's a process. People want a Man of Steel sequel first. Do you want to... Remember, we didn't get a Man of Steel sequel. We just got straight Batman v Superman. So do you want to go to that route again where you don't get a Man of Steel sequel? You just get Black Adam versus Shazam. Let Superman have his second movie if he's going to do it. Let Black Adam face the Shazam family. Which is another thing. There's nobody on this planet that can stop me. Bro, it's a whole family of niggas that can stop you. They all got the same abilities as you. Look, if any one of the 7 of y'all, it's the Shazam. Yeah, anyone like the 7 of y'all say these names, say this one name, y'all all back to little tiny peoples. Oh yeah, one scene. By the way, here we go. This is it. And I think I'm gonna wrap up this. At one point, somehow, again, Black Adam needs to be a villain. There is no reason he's ever remorseful for what he's done unless it involves his direct family. And yes, they kind of play that to where Hawkman gets him to finally surrender. Because we find out, which again, it changed the story, that Black Adam was never chosen. Black Adam wasn't chosen by the gods. His son was chosen. And his son was trying to save everybody. And his son ended up being like, yo, Daddy, I don't need these powers. I want to open up my heart. Again, the thing that Shazam I say, I open my heart and give my powers to you, share my power with you. And so because of that, he gives his power to his daddy. And so once the power goes to his daddy, back in 5000 BCE in Kahndaq, that's how the king at the time kills his son. So when we keep hearing the story about his son dies, he was reborn a king, he died and his son dies, all that. It's convoluted when you hear it in the trailers, but that's what happens. His son was about to be sacrificed because his son tried to start a revolution like Amon later on in life. Son tries to do this while people are slaves for this king. Son gets captured. When the son gets captured, he's almost about to be executed. The wizards grab him, make him champion, right? He's out here trying to fuck people up. But then he realizes he can't do everything. He'd rather let it have his father have his powers. Which shouts out to them de-aging The Rock in his face and not even de-aging, de-bodying. They de-bodied Dwayne Johnson for this. I want y'all to understand. They took Dwayne Johnson's face and put it on the body. And everybody was like, that is definitely not that nigga. Okay? Because it's way smaller. You're like, there's no way he was that. Dwayne Johnson's always been massive. There's no way. They ended up using the guy who plays him on Young Rock anyway. But I was like, that's somebody else's body. That ain't Dwayne Johnson. But I digress. When his son realizes, like, yo, I'd rather have my father be my hero and my champion. He gives his powers to his father. His son is murdered. That's when he goes on his killing spree, killing everybody. And then that's when the Wizards imprison him, being Ted Adam, Black Adam. That hard little level, okay, cool. And that's how you use that to have Hawkman convince him, Black Adam, to calm down. Yo, you caused too much destruction in these streets. This is before the whole Sabak thing. You caused too much destruction in these streets. I need to take you, put you in prison. So go ahead, say the word, say the name, and get this over with. He says it. They put him in prison, blah, blah, blah. So they put him in like this underground black site raft. You see Harcourt, shouts out Jennifer Holland. Harcourt shows up. Now, they put him in this thing where they put him in suspended animation, got tubes in his mouth, all this stuff, water. He can't speak, so he'll never be able to say the name. Even if he puts the thing out, he's underwater. And he doesn't have his ability, so he's a regular dude, per se. He can't say the name, so he can't change. Dr. Fate, basically, at one point, when Spock shows up, he allows himself to focus as an apparition and be there to talk to him. He projects himself. So, again, the black site is in the ocean. Not the ocean. Shouts out to Lake Great Ralph May. In the ocean. It's in the bottom of the ocean. Black Adam manages, after help from Dr. Fate, to escape, fights off guards that are shooting at him. In the black site, guards that are shooting at him, he does not have his powers. He is a regular, just like Billy Batson is a regular dude. If Billy Batson is killed as Billy Batson, he dies. He has to hurry up and turn, so he can't. He's shooting at this nigga, whatever. Regular Ted Adam manages to break free, goes and breaks out of the black site that is in the bottom of the ocean, or the middle of the ocean, and swims up from the ocean as a regular person. For half the time, still has this respirator thing in his mouth. Eventually pulls it out when he's halfway swimming upwards. Laws tell you that a human being cannot swim up that high without a respirator and pack on. Gets to the top, passed out dead. You know what I'm saying? He should have drowned, hella drowned. Has the whole flashback. Him with his wife and son. I'm with you. The gods have brought us together, blah, blah, blah. His son's like, Father, it's not your time. You got to go back, blah, 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 blah. You can't. They need you. You're the hero. You're the champion. Say the word. This nigga is supposed to be drowned in the ocean, floating in the middle of the ice, and just goes, boom, turns. That is cold water in the bottom. He is human. Remember, he is human. And it's at the bottom. It just didn't add up to me. If you told me this black site was just off the water, not deep under the water, deep down in the water, it would add up a little more. But those are certain little things, again, where it's like it's discombobulated. I understand the story you're trying to move of Black Adam. This anti-hero thing is just what doesn't work. He's got to be one or the other. And Black Adam is a villain. I don't think this movie's terrible. I don't say that this movie's terrible. But this movie's not perfect. This movie's not a masterpiece. This movie's okay. Again, I went in with no expectations. My only expectation, I was like, please God, don't let me just see Luke Hobbs with superpowers. And some people was like, well, what the fuck's the problem with that? Because I've seen Luke Hobbs already in Fast and Furious movies. I want to see something different. And I was hoping for a little bit more. Yes, this is the role we've been waiting for Dwayne Johnson over 15 years. This is absolutely what it's for. Yes, for the whole, he gives us what he gives us. And it's a pretty decent portrayal. But just go full on villain. Destroy. You are not the champion. You were the champion. That you weren't even the champion that was chose. That's the thing. You weren't chosen, which is why another reason why the goddamn Wizards was like, lock this nigga up. Like, he's not the person anyway. So, Also, there's another thing, like Kondak has the seven wizards, right? In Kondak, the thrones of the wizards are there, all this stuff, the Eternium. You're telling me the Rock of Eternia in Kondak? Is that where they're transported to all the time in Shazam? I'm curious, just wondering. Okay, I digress. If I have to get this rating of 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the highest, I'm gonna give it a 3. Putting it in the middle of the board. I'm neutral about it. I'm neutral. I don't hate this movie. I don't love this movie. It is a movie. It exists. I'm cool with it. I don't have any grand expectations. I didn't. So as long as I didn't go in with any grand expectations or any grand, oh God, here we go, I couldn't be disappointed or I couldn't be beyond excited. I just went in and was like, all right, I saw what I saw. But a lot of people are feeling that way. But again, there's some people who are going to try to say that this is because you don't want to see Snyder's world, blah, blah, blah. That's fucking nothing to do with it. This movie is for me on its own merit. That's what I judge this off of. Yes, there are these characters from different things. There are different parts and different elements, all that. I understand that. But this is still Black Adam at the end of the day. I'm probably going to regret this. This might be the first one where I'm like, I just don't want to hear any comments. Because, again, like I said in the beginning and I've said in the middle and I will continue to say now, nothing I say is going to be good enough for anybody. For everybody, shall I say. Not anybody, for everybody. This is one man's opinion. And they're going to be, well, you just don't like it. Well, you love it too much. How dare you love it? Shut the fuck up, either way. Look, until I get tired of it, leave your comments and thoughts down below. All right? Keep it simple. The first one go out of pocket, I'm locking all these comments down. The first one go out of pocket. I'm not going to deal with it because I'm going to tell you why. I don't need 60 million notifications on my phone. I already get enough from emails and text messages and stuff, which I got to try to need a comedian. But that's what we're talking about. But please, keep it civil no matter what. I just try to be real, honest, and raw with y'all like I always am and didn't want any confusion in the mix, all right? Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Check out the Mad Titan podcast with myself and my host, BC. I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live-action cinematic universes. It is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. Come on in the convo. Check me out doing stand-up. If you are currently in the Los Angeles area, the SoCal area, I'm all around. I will be awesome everywhere. I post all of my dates. I post them all up on my Instagram, so please check that out. I always put up the flyers, everything else. 2023, I'm going to be on the road a lot, so I will be doing stand-up to a city near you, so stay tuned for that. Check me out frequently on New Rockstar's Break Room, Rogue Theory, all that other stuff. Hey, man, I'm just out here trying to be that real dude for the peoples, talking about stuff, all right? Holla at y'all later. Till then, take care. I'm out. Oh, if you want to send a lot of love, there's a super thanks down below. You can use the super thanks. Please, all those things go well. All right, I'm out. Bye.